So, how is everyone doing? So, in this video, let's talk about ego. How did I get this idea? How did I think of making this video? Because recently, I think today only, yeah, I was telling one of my friends that, like I was talking about ego, right? And how it affects people, how people who think, you know, like too highly of themselves, when someone pricks them slightly, it's not the prick that actually hurts. It's the fact that the prick was to their ego that hurts them, right? So what is ego, right? So how did I get first introduced to ego was through Freud, right? Sigmund Freud, as you might have known. So he has this concept of id, ego, and superego. So it's like a very famous concept. If you want, I can make a separate video on that. But yeah, he has this concept that the human mind is basically like composed of three parts, which is the id, the ego, and the superego, right? So when I read that for the first time, that theory for the first time, like it made me fascinated. So I thought, okay, fine, he is defining it in this way. Like what is actually ego, right? Because I'm that person who will not take anyone's definition for themselves, right? I'll go around, I'll experiment, I'll see if it fits with me, then I'll accept that definition. So it didn't actually hit me directly, or I didn't actually what do you call it, accept that theory, but I was interested in that. So I went forward and I researched and I learned that what is ego. So as far as I've learned and as how I define it is, ego is basically your self-image. Fine. So how you define yourself? So how you define yourself depends on what you think you are, and it includes everything, right? So there are two different topics: your true self and your, what do you call it, image of yourself, right? So your true self is what you actually are, the and it also includes the boundless possibilities what you could become in the future. That's your true self, right? Your image is what you think you are. Now there's a difference. Many people may think that, okay, fine, I am, and as I say, you are what you think you are, but there's actually a difference. You become like the image you think. Fine. So if you have an image of yours that is very underconfident, you will become like that image, but you will not become that image, right? There's a concept: the map is not the territory. Fine. I'll also make a video on that if you want. Tell me. Fine. So the map is not the territory. It means that you have an image of yours in your mind, and that's your ego. What you think of yourself, the things you think you deserve, the things you think you don't deserve, the things like the people you think should love you, the people you think should get away from your life, every good and bad thing, what you think of yourself, that's your ego, right? When you think too highly of yourself, that okay, fine, I've done this in my life, I've done these many things, I deserve to be loved, I deserve to be respected by people. Obviously, obviously I've done all these things. Like I deserve all this fame, I deserve to be treated in a good way by my friends, I deserve not to be insulted. Let me tell you, you don't understand your ego. It's as simple as that. Maybe you deserve it, maybe you don't, but it's the self-awareness that counts, and that's that's the very reason that I keep preaching fucking self-awareness. Be aware of what's going on here. Every time it's like some words are about to come out of your mouth, make sure it's you, it's your intellect who's speaking, not your ego, right? Because if it's your ego who's speaking, then more often than not, these decisions will not end up in a good way, right? So how do you deal with ego? Self-awareness, right? Be conscious of your thoughts. That's self-awareness. Be conscious of your thoughts. Be conscious of the things that you're, that is going on in your mind. What's my mind thinking? Why is it thinking this way? Right? For example, if one of my friends insulted me in some way, and for him it was a joke, right? And it really hurt me. Like it, like really offended me in a way. I come home and I keep thinking, how can he, insult me like this? Like I've been so good to him in the past. How can he do this to me? After that initial, rage and initial anger and that initial impulsive reaction fades off, what I'll do is I'll ask myself, is there a chance that I'm wrong? Is there a chance that I'm overreacting? Most people don't do this. This step, most people don't. The rule is no, I'm right. Obviously. Obviously, I'm right. I have the right to get offended. This is your ego. You don't. You should ask yourself that, okay, fine, I got offended, I can understand, but is there a chance that I'm wrong? Is there a chance that he didn't mean any harm to me? Is there a chance? I'm curious to find out. And when you are curious to find out whose mistake it was, or rather, why you got offended, then you'll find the answer. Because you have to be curious, you have to want to know that, okay, why am I behaving this way? Why am I feeling this way? If you're not curious about that fact, then there's no, like thing after that. There's no growth from that. So be curious, right? About why you're feeling that way. And I'm sweating a lot. Yeah. And when you find that answer, okay, who was wrong? Is it my ego? Am I thinking that, oh no, I don't deserve, I'm a fucking king or something in my own mind. I don't deserve to be treated this way. I don't deserve to be insulted in front of everyone. I don't deserve to be, pulled my leg. So let me tell you that this is your ego and you have to work on it. And if you just have a bit of self-awareness and do these steps that I'm telling you, then you will definitely move over it. Fine. So, that's the entire gist of it. That every time you make a decision, every time you open your mouth, every time you get offended or you feel like, something, someone, some situation is affecting your brain, be aware of that. Be aware of what's happening in your brain. Be aware of why is it happening. Be aware of why is that happening, and be aware of why that is happening, and be aware of why that is happening. And keep going deep inside to find the root. And when you find the root, you will eventually be able to abolish that. Take it out of your mind and throw it away. Fine. So with that, I'll have to leave you. I have to switch on my fan. I'm really sweating. So yeah, let's meet in the next video, and till the next time, be a mind manager.